Hi there. If you are a TargetX user, this is a really good video to watch because it's going to show you precisely how the integration between Gecko and TargetX events work, how we push data, where we push that to, and we'll do a demonstration rather than just talking about it because that's way more fun. So the cadence is we'll build an event in Gecko, we'll add a contact to it in Gecko and sync that across. We'll then add a contact in TargetX and see what happens. Does it pull back? The spoiler is yes. And then we'll play around with the different statuses to see how they push. So let's jump right into it then. So all that I've done in preparation for this is create a very simple integration which took about 30 seconds to set up. We've mapped the name, the email, and not an awful lot else. We're basically saying, hey, just pull over the name and the email, and that's super, thank you very much. On Gecko then, in the events, I'm going to build a brand new event and we'll call this the Gecko Summer Festival, because it was quite sunny a few days ago in Scotland, which is absolutely a rarity. So I've created my event here. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the advanced settings and I'm going to say, hey, what I'd love to do right now, please, is to push this over to Salesforce, or specifically to TargetX. Now, if we go back to the events page, we can see that this is currently doing its thing. In fact, let's give it a little boot. To make sure. Oh, in fact, it is trying to sync. I'm being a bit hasty. Gecko's kind of slapping my wrist there, saying we will get round to this. So that usually takes not long at all, actually, to push the information across. So let's pause this momentarily, and in about 15-20 seconds, we should see that this has created an event in TargetX. Okay. So about 15-20 seconds has elapsed, and we can now see on the events page that this is now syncing with the TargetX Gecko Summer Festival event. So let's hop over to TargetX. Now within TargetX, we create an organization event, and if we look right at the top here, we can see the Gecko Summer Festival is in swing. Okay, so within the event right here, let's go ahead and create a brand new event registration. So we're going to add one of my fantastic colleagues, Donald, to the event. And let's say that Donald is attending the Gecko Summer Festival event and he's bringing 3 guests and he's confirmed that he's going to attend. So let's add him to the event. We can now see that we do indeed have an attendee for our event. And now back on Gecko, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a contact in the opposite direction. I'm going to add myself into the event too. And let's tell Gecko that we do want to allow guests, and I'll push over maybe 1 guest. So let's edit that booking and we'll say, hey, we'd like to push 1 guest. Now this does periodically sync. It's trying to sync the data across now because we've had that trigger of a student record being added to the event in Gecko. So again, in about 15-20 seconds, we should see, hopefully, if this is all working correctly, that Donald will be appearing in the event in Gecko, and in the Salesforce event, I'll be appearing here, and we'll have the accurate guest count for both. Okay, so that sync has now completed, and we can see that we have 2 attendees, and we have 4 guests in total now, which is why Gecko's showing that there are 6 people. You can choose to toggle to only show students or include the guests in that count as well, though, which is really nice to note. Now, if we flip back over to TargetX, we can see that we do have both students here as well, and we can see both of them are marked as the TargetX equivalent of registered, which is confirmed, and we can see the guest count there as well. So really, really simple to do. Now, as a final kind of test, what we're going to do is we're going to mark one of the students as attended in the Gecko event. So let's imagine Donald's come in and said, hey there, I'm here, and we've manually marked them as attended. And let's imagine that I've come in and maybe I've got my QR code and that's been scanned, in which case that's also going to mark me as attended. And again, that's going to trigger the sync in Gecko. Give it another manual push as well to make sure this gets done quickly for the demo, and in just a moment we should see those move over to the attended column. Now whilst we're waiting that to sync momentarily, it is worth pointing out that in this demo we have created the event in Gecko first and chosen to push it to target X. Now, there's a number of reasons you'd probably want to do that. Most notably, within Gecko, you can create your events, your sessions, and your workflows, and then you can say, you know what, this exact event runs again on Wednesday. Make a carbon copy of it on that date, and another one on Friday. So it means that you can do all of that heavy lifting really easily, and then you just need to go in and say, yep, I'd like this in target X now, please, with that toggle. If you were of the other mind, though, and you had everything pre-made in target X and you wanted to pull that into Gecko, we totally support that too. Just go into the integrations page, to the events tab, and you can manually pull them over, or you can automate it and say any event that we create in target X, create a duplicate with the exact same start dates, exact same titles, exact same time zones in Gecko. So let's double check this. The sync, it normally takes a couple of seconds to push across. It's worth pointing out as well, I've been manually pushing all of these, but in fact, yep, we can see both of them are marked as attended now, which is absolutely super. It does work the other way around as well, so if we've marked somebody as cancelled or attended or any of the other statuses in target X, that pulls back to Gecko. The final point really to note is that in terms of the speed at which these pull across, in the run-up to the event, we'll sync it fairly regularly. It's a couple of times every hour. On the day of the event, we sync far more frequently, just in case you're wanting that up to the minute kind of view over in target X. And then after the event is finished, we'll slowly, over a couple of weeks and months, start slowing down the sync frequency, just to make sure that any stragglers or people who are added to the event after the fact still do end up in target X. Of course, as you've seen me make use of quite a few times in the video already, you do have the granular choice to sync the event manually if you choose that.